Hi, welcome to Intellectual News. I'm Dave Dawson. I'm sitting here with the incomparable Victoria Pratt.
Hi, David.
Hi. You're here in San Diego today to promote your book, Double Down, which we talked to you a little bit about when you were on our podcast a few months ago. And I'm going to try and keep a straight face today.
Good luck.
Yeah.
It's adorable you're trying to do that.
I know. Yeah. Okay. Tell me a little bit about your book, Victoria.
Just jump right in there.
Yeah, just jump right in there because you've got me completely
I'm
flustered.
sorry.
And
So
I'm trying to steer you in.
Double Down.
Double Down
is the book that I wrote. I wrote a book with words. It's a Cassidy Jones novel. It's one in a series, and it's kind of a naughty little murder mystery.
Naughty little murder mystery.
Mm-hmm. You know, there's some killing and there's a little bit of sexy time. And
what motivated you to write a naughty little murder mystery?
I digs me the killing.
That can sound really wrong.
No, you know what? I'm an avid reader. I love reading, and I love murder mysteries. I just do. And you know, being an actor, I've been able to play a lot of really cool characters. So I've played, you know, cops, and I've played a lot of super villains. Because when you've got a jaw like mine,
the evil jaw,
you get cast as the crazy. If you're not like the really good guy, you're the really bad guy. So I had a lot of characters in my head, and I had a lot of stories to tell. So I wanted to sort of create something that felt really, really personal to me. So I started writing Double Down.
So you identify with Cassidy Jones?
Sadly, or happily, yes, I do. You know, to me, she's kind of. You know, they say that you write what you know, right? And she's a small town girl. I grew up on a farm, you know, and I moved to a big city, and she's sort of the fish out of water in a big city. And I feel like she is the woman that I imagine I would have been had I gone back to my small town. You know, so she's sort of an exploration for me of, you know, this sort of fantasy character that I've fallen in love with. I mean, she's much cooler than I would ever be, and she says things that I could never say, but she feels like a part of me.
So do you miss the small town feel that you grew up in?
Yeah. All the time.
Because you're in the crazy Hollywood world.
I'm in the crazy Hollywood world, but I live up in the canyon where we're all crazy. You know, I've got an acre of land and, you know, deer and coyotes and the whole bit. But yeah, I mean, I grew up there, and I grew up with this complete freedom and complete privacy, and I miss that. And I love, you know, being outside and with animals, and, you know, I miss that small town world, absolutely. You're
acting and you're writing. How do you find the time to write while pursuing your acting career?
You know, when you're acting, it's full on. You know, you're up at 4:30 in the makeup chair by 5:30, and, you know, you work these 17-hour days. It's crazy. But when you're not, you're vastly unemployed. You know, there's just acres of time.
Yeah, I tell everybody it's not a career, it's a series of gigs.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, unless you're on an actual series, which is what, you know, sings to my heart. I love doing a series. But you have a lot of downtime, and I think that if you don't want to go berserk, you need to find something else to do with your time. And I love writing, and writing's sort of been a part of my life for a really, really long time. So it's good for me.
You used to write before you became an actress, right?
Yeah, I used to.
Magazines?
You know, I was in the fitness world, and I used to write for Oxygen. I was their first cover girl. I wrote for them for years, and I wrote for different magazines, and, you know, so it's sort of a natural progression for me.
Is writing your first love?
No. I mean, but it's one of them. It's one of them. You know. Okay. A girl's got a few loves.
I wouldn't know that.
Don't judge me, David.
No judgment. No judgment whatsoever. So this is the first novel. How does it feel to get it out there? And what's it like to know people are reading it, and how's the reaction been for you so far?
You know, it's kind of exciting because you start writing as an exercise, basically, because someone says, hey, you should do that, and then you do, and you're writing, and it just, you know, some days when the writing's good, you think, oh, I'm doing something really great, and then other days when you've got writer's block, you think, why am I doing this pointless thing? And then all of a sudden someone wants to buy your book. And then there's a reason why you're spending all those hours in front of the computer. So that feels amazing. So to get the first book done, it feels really cool because I've fallen in love with this character, you know? And the second book, I mean, I have no idea if the publishers are going to like it or not, because I got her in a world of trouble, and I'm kind of stuck right now. I'm about halfway through, and I'm like, oh boy, she's in it. So, you know.
Well, it's obvious you're really passionate when you talk about Cassidy Jones. Like, she just, your whole face lights up, you fire up about it. So, I mean, that's got to feel good to have this character out there and to be already in on your second book.
It does, and I've got plans for Cassidy Jones. You know what I'm saying? Not just in the books, but I've been doing a lot of writing screenplays and whatnot. And I wrote this pilot, and it got a lot of traction around town. But as someone who's never sold a pilot and someone who's sort of largely an untested writer, people want a property. And sort of the feedback by and large was, if you don't have, a body of work as a showrunner in TV, you need to have a book, or someone needs to vet you.
Right.
Right. If someone liked your book enough to publish it, then they can like it enough to make it into a show. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I thought,
it opens the door.
Why not just go for it and write a damn book? And then, and then I can say, hey, you know what? You're not the only one who likes this. These publishers liked it. There's, people out there who bought the book who like it. It's it's a weird thing in Hollywood where people aren't allowed to like it unless someone else likes it.
Yeah,
and when you write a book that gets published, then it's proof pudding that someone else liked your book.
Right.
Yeah, it's weird, but that's the game. That's the game we play.
You got a real take no prisoners kind of attitude. So
well, that's all I got. That's all I have, except for some silk pajamas that I'm wearing right now.
Yeah.
Don't judge me, David.
I'm not judging. I'm not judging.
You judging me in my pajamas.
I'm trying not to look at your pajamas. Thank you for coming down and joining us here in San Diego.
My pleasure.
And making this one of your stops on your book tour. And everybody should read Double Down. Kristen Naomi read it. She did a review and
just
put it
saw it
up today.
Aww,
she loved it.
That was so sweet.
And she's in Sacramento today, but she wanted to make sure she got her review up for you, so she fired that review off from Sacramento just to make sure that you were able to hear her voice today.
Well, thank you.
So thank you for joining us, and keep checking out Intellectual News for more great people like Victoria, because we like talking to really cool people.
In pajamas.
In pajamas.
Not
Later.
Weird.